Hello, dear YouTube friends. It actually is possible to extract yourself out of the matrix. And I haven't used that word before, but I've been getting this kind of an impression or an image for a little while where I can just get a different seeing it at a different angle of how we can literally extract ourselves out of it. Not so different than what I've talked about before, but it's always a little different, right? A different angle, different view, different flavor, different quality that some may resonate for you and some may resonate for others. And I think it's the one that really resonates that we go like, oh, yeah. Oh, I can try that. Oh, that feels right. And then we are more prone to take action. Whereas if it's not resonating, if I always say the same, there might be the same people resonating, but if I just tweak it a little bit, like I'm going to do today, there might be somebody saying, oh, now I see what you mean. Now it makes sense. Now I want to take some action on it. And that's the whole point of me doing it. I think, I'm not really sure. I think the whole point is that I actually enjoy doing my channel. And then there might be a thought like, maybe this is going to help people, take some action to let go of the false matrix and start living from their essence again, from our essence. And now, of course, I just share what's working for me and see where it goes. So I've been getting this image for a little while. It's like a big round circle that is, empty, maybe white, transparent, but it's just this big white circle that I experience as, you can say the canvas, a white, open, clean canvas. But it really is my I am presence. When I go into that sense of I, which I have done a number of videos on, you can go and check them out. They're actually very short, simple, and it can give you a flavor of that I am, which is the canvas, which is the white empty circle. So when I see that, and then inside I just see there's all these little things. They're not anything specific. I can just see that this space is just constantly being filled with things. And because that is happening in my experience, in I am experience here, my consciousness goes like, oh, what's that? Like, oh, wow. Oh, what's that? Oh, look at this. Oh, I want that. I really want that. That's happening all the time. Probably because we came into this dimension to have an experience of this dimension where there is other, right? These things showing up are other than I am, or at least that's what it feels and seems like. So I go like, I want to experience that. I want to experience that. And off we go to the races. Here we are in the false matrix because there's all this stuff, right? All this glitter, all these amazing things that we want to experience. And what happens a lot is that we get completely, completely lost in it, that we lose track of the canvas, the round canvas, or just the round circle space, the sense of I am, your own presence, and then we get lost. And the more lost we are, the deeper we have gone into these little rabbit holes, right? Because it's not just a little thing when you go in, there's like this whole experience, other world, other this, other that. And that's what we get lost in. And it's only because we first go with this first impulse or this first wanting to experience these little dots, colors, shapes, forms, lights, and anything. I can probably come up with 10,000 things here, but it's just that first thing that gets our attention to go like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, I want to see that. And what happens when we go into these rabbit holes, we get attached, our feelings, we get hurt, we get traumatized. There's all kind of things that can happen in any one of these rabbit holes. And we get lost in that. And then we go like, oh, this pain, that, and there must be something wrong with me, or I need to heal it, and I need to do this, and I need to go to the doctor. And so then we keep going deeper and deeper, so far that we really lose track of the space here, that open circle, this white canvas where all these dots are appearing, okay? It's an appearance. It's not something real, but it is an appearance that appeals to us, and then something in us, that part that is attracted to it or gets appealed, it goes there, and it keeps going, and it keeps going and going and going, and really starts believing that this is real, this is reality. And again, totally forgetting this. I think that really feels like what we are experiencing and so it's nothing new, of course, nothing is new anymore, but it's nice to hear the things that have been shared before when they show up in our own experience as an image, as an impression, as an inspiration and intuition, then it becomes more real. And that's why I want to offer it and see if that one resonates with you today. So I see this image, right? Clean, clear, nothing in there. And then these little kind of similar color, there might be a little beige in the way I saw it, but just shapes, kind of a little darker than the white, but not too much. And that's where I would go in. So when I talk about extracting today, instead of going there and getting curious and interested and getting lost, we need to start extracting ourselves from that, so we come back to that open, wide circle or canvas and start paying attention to what that is. I am. I am, that experience of I am, not a mental experience. It is the experience that we have when we say, I am Pernilla in this case. You use your name, your gender, your job, your role, whatever. Something that you have put behind I am. And then you just say, oh, I am Pernilla, and you feel that there is something there, right? When I say I am Pernilla, I'm like, okay, there's something here. I can relate to that. I can answer that call. And then I'm asking you to drop that thing that you put behind or after I am. Put that away. And then you will notice, I will notice when I'm not saying I am Pernilla, which came with a whole story. But now I drop that and I just like, when I don't say Pernilla or my gender or my age or my whatever, my role, I notice there is actually still something here. There's something real or tangible And that's why I want to invite you to go and listen to that meditation I did about that a while ago. And then you start noticing there is something here. And that is where we want to go in and get curious. Like, yeah, what is this? There is something here. Even if I don't say I'm this, that, or the other, there's still something here. Now I want to find out. I want to just be still, curious, lean into that feeling, sensation, or somethingness and find out what it is. The only way we can find out is by leaning in and letting it show itself. So there's no doing. It's not something you can do and make, a whole effort, put a lot of effort into it. The only way it happens is by going, okay, I'm going to let go of all these roles. And now I want to know, what am I? When I say I know there is something because I relate to it 24/7. My whole life, I would say I, but I thought I was my name, my role, my whatever. But that's actually not true. There's something here without that. This was actually here before I took my first breath, before I came into my mother's womb. This was always here, that sense of I. Now we want to put all our attention on that. So you can see that your name, your role, your gender, your whatever, that was part of all these little somethings in that field or in that empty circle. That's what started crawling in. And you go, oh, I'm Pernilla. Oh, I'm a mother. I'm a this, I'm a that. That we can pull back from. And when we pull back from that, we come into a place where there is something, but it's not those things. Right now we're back in that circle, that open space where we do not engage. And when we stop engaging, it kind of dissolves, or it really wants our attention for a while. That's the mind, right? So we need to work with that. But otherwise, there is just this. So we can extract ourselves from these little things that are filling the canvas or the empty circle, the empty space. And now we can spend maybe the rest of our lives, or not, in resting here and doing our best. We only do our best to not engage every time these suggestions, these appearances, hypnotic suggestions come in. They are really just suggestions or little appearances. They're really nothing. And the more we realize that, then it is up to us if we want to put our attention out and go into another wormhole, or if we want to keep extracting out and instead putting our attention on I am and really figuring out, feeling into what I am. This is where we are all heading, whether you know it or not. This is the invitation. Energetically, many of us feel it. That's why the work right now is to keep doing our best to not keep engaging. I did a video, Don't Touch It, a long time ago. So we don't want to touch this. And it's very difficult when we have been engaging with it and touching it for our whole life. So it's not a small task, but it is a very important task for all of us if we want to be part of the transition we're going through of letting the false matrix dissolve in what is it? Disinflate. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. It's like a balloon, right? It let the air come out of it. Let it just flatten by lack of your and mine engagement. And then we do everything we can to engage in this. And, because the patterns are so strong, the habits are so strong, it's like this drive out into the false matrix. This is what we're used to. And there's a lot going on in the world right now that many people are driven out to do something about it. But you have to remember that what you're driving into are all appearances and suggestions and hypnotic suggestions. That is all something here that the mind wants to engage in because it feels so real. So making the shift to let go, desist, not going there. I've used the words recently, I'm not interested anymore. It's a very powerful statement if you can feel it. I've said this for a long time to myself. Out loud maybe. I'm not interested in the false matrix anymore. With all its, hoops and twists and turns, I'm not interested anymore. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy certain things, but I'm not interested in it anymore. I want to know what is true. I want to know what this space, this round open space or canvas, I want to know what that is, what I am, and how that expresses itself when I let it, when I put all my attention on there and not on all these little things in here. So give that a try. That was a nice image that I enjoyed, and I might even try and make a little drawing or a painting or just to let the creativity unfold in a different, from a different outlet in me. But try it out. See if it's even possible for you to extract yourself. If you can see this image here, you're here and you go like, oh no, I'm gonna pull out of that emotional turmoil. I'm pulling out of that terrifying nightmare. I'm going to pull out of that emotional engagement that I have with these people. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. And you come back more and more, and then at least you have the choice to start engaging with what is here always prior to your engagement. Yeah, it's quite a task, isn't it? Please like, share, subscribe, and certainly comment. Let me know if you have any questions, any sharings. Can you relate to it? It's not new what I'm sharing, especially if you've been on a spiritual journey for a long time of awakening, of maybe of satsang and non-duality. This is not new, but we can make it fresh and new every moment. And maybe this will just spark something in you to say, oh, yeah, that's right, that canvas thing. I remember that now. But I really got lost in this color blue or this color red or whatever, the magenta. So we want to just maybe start over if we have to and remind ourselves, like, oh, yeah, that's right. Give it a try and please share with me. And also, not this coming Tuesday, but the first Tuesday of October is when I have my next online gathering that you're welcome to join. The link is in the description. It's called Feel Your Deepest Longing, Find Your Spiritual Calling. And that's what we'll do. We'll practice that. All right, my friends. See you next time.